Hey everyone, it's Nora here with Nora's Arc. Today we're going to do another garden tour and I'm super excited to show you how everything is looking. It's getting so big, everything's growing like a forest, and I'm just really excited. This is like the best time of the year. So we'll take a look at all the stuff that I have ready to harvest and all of the tomatoes that are about to turn colors. So let's go take a look. This is such an exciting time of the year because everything is huge and it looks like a forest, and getting ready to harvest a bunch of stuff, so I'm really excited about that. Just look at everything, it's crazy. My tomatoes are like tunnels, rows or walls, whatever you want to call them, but it's insane. So don't forget, most important part of the garden is my cinder block stuck here so I can get it. So as far as things that are going to be ready to harvest, these are my wasabi radishes. They are going to be picked. I'm going to the market tomorrow, so I'm going to be selling these. You can see these guys down here. They're pretty big. And then over here, these aren't ready to harvest, but they're just some green peppers coming in. I have my kale here. This is fringe kale. That guy's ready to be harvested. And then these jalapenos are just going crazy. You can see all of them down here. Really excited to harvest those. I love spicy peppers. I have harvested a lot of these green bell peppers down here. So I'm really excited about that. I've never grown green bell peppers before, so it's pretty cool. If you remember, I had these tomatoes in cages. I had to abandon that because they fell over. So I put 2 6-foot T-posts on each side, and I used string to hold those up, and I did put some wood stakes in there too before I did the T-posts to try to hold the cages up, but that didn't really work. The interesting thing about these tomatoes is they're San Marzano. They're called, but they're a different variety of San Marzanos. They're called San Marzano Longo number 2, and the interesting thing is that they're like round, and in my experience San Marzanos are usually plum shaped, so we'll see. That's really interesting. Or maybe they cross pollinated with another tomato, but the interesting thing is they're not really by any other tomatoes, so I don't know how that would have happened. Cross pollination is when you have 2 tomato plants next to each other and then they kind of just blend and create their own variety. It's pretty cool, but I'm not sure if that happened there. What else do we have? We have these sweet banana peppers. They are getting humongous. And speaking of things that are getting humongous, check out these eggplants. I just watered today, so they don't look so pretty because they have dirt splashed up on them, so ignore that fact, but they are just getting huge. I have so many of them. I'm so excited to harvest them. This guy here is a ginormous Brussels sprout plant. For comparison, look at this guy. So I don't know what's going on, if he's a supersonic seed or what, but he's like a Brussels sprout tree. I don't call him a sprout. I'd call him a tree, so you can see him compared to the other ones. He's huge. And then over here, I have some of the fingerling eggplants coming in. Those are the longer, thinner ones. They're not as fat as the other ones. You can see some there. I have some here. Really excited about those. Haven't tried those ever. And then these are awesome. These white eggplant. There's so many of them coming in. They're called Japanese white eggplants. I only tried one so far. I had one in a stir fry. It was really good. There is so many of those coming in. It's awesome. I'm so excited about that. Those ones only get to about 2-3 inches, so they're about ready to harvest. And then check out all of these tomatoes that are going to be turning color soon. I'm so excited. This fence situation that I did, where I did the 6-foot T-posts and then I put up the 12-gauge iron or metal fencing, is just working awesome. It is holding the tomatoes up so good. I've only had to tie a couple of them up. And check out these tomatoes. So excited. I'll back up a little bit so you can see the whole wall of them. If you remember my first garden tour, these were not nearly this big, so I'm so excited There's so many tomatoes. I spent like 12 hours this weekend pruning them because they were just getting too crowded. And so I just took off all of the extra leaves that didn't need to be on there. I can do a separate video about pruning tomatoes. The only downside they say can happen is it can make them more susceptible to disease, but it's been a few weeks. What I did is I did one section a couple weeks ago and then tested to make sure nothing bad happened to it, and then I just did the rest because it's so much easier to see the tomatoes now, and it's just, I have a lot in a smaller space, so they need more room to breathe. I also cut the tops off so they would stop growing so tall, because these ones back here got so tall that they folded over and were leaning on top of each other. So I topped the rest off. So these are Agropoli grape tomatoes. You can see there's a bunch coming in that are turning red. I'm so excited. I popped one in my mouth this morning and just ate it plain. It was so good. These are called blueberry tomatoes. And the cool thing about them, you'll see that guy's red and purple. Some of these are mostly purple. So they turn more red if they have more shade, and then they turn more purple or blue if they get more sun. So it's pretty cool to see the different coloring on those. See, these guys are coming in. These are some more of those. These aren't blueberry, these are blue creamberry. So kind of the same concept, but they turn yellow instead. So those are really cool looking. Just love having all the different varieties of tomatoes here. Really excited about this. I see my broccoli's coming in. This is the green Calabrese sprouting broccoli. That guy, I'm not sure how he's doing. I never really grew broccoli before, but it looks like this guy's doing good. I will be harvesting all of this lettuce and taking it to the market tomorrow. Some of it has started flowering, which I looked up is called bolting in vegetables, because flowering has like a good connotation, but it's not good for vegetables to flower. So I'll be harvesting all of that. This strawberry cabbage, or sanguine amarylli lettuce looks super cool. You see there's more of one that turned into a head. Those are my purple dragon carrots. Gonna be harvesting those too, and then I'll plant something else in their spot. Not sure what yet, maybe some more beets or something. Check out the size of these charters. Try and get my hand in there, but they're like dino leaves. It's really insane. And then I also harvested a couple beets. Made a borscht the other day, which is like a chili but with beets instead. So I will be harvesting the rest of these and taking them to the market to see if we can get a good shot of these. And here, you'll see them. Look at that monster. They are monsters beets. One literally looked like a creature, like I think it was living. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. I've got these peppers, which look super cool. What are these? The havasu peppers. The thing is, I don't know if they're ripe yet, because some of them are yellow and some of them are red, so I guess we'll see. Then just have more tomatoes over here coming in. Check out this giant brandywine tomato. It is like another monster. Check him out. Oh my gosh, he is huge. I'll try to get another angle here. I cannot wait until that guy is ripe. I can't wait to weigh it and see how much it weighs. These are my white snowball ones. They're starting to turn white, as you can see. So excited about the tomatoes, getting ready to harvest. I just love tomatoes, which is why I have so many. And let's get a shot of this tomato tunnel, which just brings me so much joy. And this is another reason I had to prune a lot of them, because they were just super close together and I could not even walk through there. It was funny, I was like on my hands and knees crawling down in there trying to get leaves off of them. They never said it was gonna be easy. Here are some more of those blueberry tomatoes, and you can see these ones are really red. Like, it's kind of funny because they're called blueberry tomatoes, but those ones are just all red because they must have gotten more shade. So that's my tomatoes. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get harvesting a lot of this stuff and see all the tomatoes turn colors. Let's go look at my wild tomato patch now. So if you remember from my first video, I showed you that this is my wild tomato patch that is growing. They're all volunteer tomato plants, which means they just volunteered and showed up. So I had my garden here last year in the front, and then I moved it over there. So that's why all these tomato plants are growing. And then the other funny thing is I emptied my pots in here. So right here I had this ornamental pepper in a pot. It was all different colors, really pretty. And it's growing back too as well. So that's kind of funny. It was the first time I ever learned that like peppers and tomatoes can kind of just grow back on their own was this year. P.S. that guy is very, very hot. That's probably why they call it ornamental pepper. Don't eat it, but we did. And didn't wear gloves while we were cutting it, and burned my eyes when I went to take my contacts off that night. So don't recommend eating that. So you can see a lot of these got knocked over. We have had a lot of heavy rain, so that's why. But it's just an experiment to see like what would happen if I didn't do anything to the tomato plants. But you'll see here, there's a bunch of San Marzanos growing. So we'll kind of just see how those go. A few that I've found that are red have had rot on the bottom of them. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. That's unfortunate. I did pick one when it was yellower. I'm letting it ripen in the windowsill. We'll see how that one goes. So yeah, you'll see here, it's like, ooh, look at that beauty. And then there's rot on the bottom. I mean, it's probably because they're not very healthy. They're kind of just laying on top of each other. But I guess that is just an experiment. So like this one is yellow. So I might pick him soon, let him ripen in the window and see what happens. Here's another one that's turning red, but it's got that rot on the bottom. So I'm not gonna pick that one. Over here, I wanted to show you one thing in my raised beds. They're getting huge, if you remember from last video. Is these peppers are so cool looking. They're called Mad Hatter peppers, so I'm pretty excited about those to change color, but they're just really interesting looking. And then here are my volunteer tomatoes that grew in here. You'll see I've got some of these cherry tomatoes turning yellow, so I'm pretty excited about that. So there's everything. You'll notice that these charred leaves are a lot smaller than the ones in the garden. They're not colossal, but they are still pretty big. And then I've got some San Marzanos changing color over here, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now let's go take a look at what I've got growing along the fence. So here's everything I have growing along the fence. Here's my grape plant. He's still not doing too well. He's getting eaten by the beetles and he's got cedar rust. I'm trying to remedy that, but it's not going too well. My peas are pretty much done. These were my snap peas. These guys were Alaskan peas. Already ripped those out and replaced them with green beans. Here are my green beans that are growing. And then, let's see if we can find some. It's always, like, you remember where they are, but it's always so funny to try to find them later. Look how long these guys are. These are stringless green beans. I think they're called Blue Lake variety. And then this is funny, over here, I've got this guy growing in between the fence. He's literally lodged in there. So I'll have to figure out how to get that out. But there's a lot of cucumbers started, you'll see here. These are the Chicago pickling ones, so this guy's almost ready to go. And then these are just my regular cucumbers. That guy I'll have to get out. What I've been doing is just pushing it up, and then I have somebody else grab it from the top to get it out from in between the two fences. So yeah, that's everything I have growing on the fence. So that was the second official garden tour. I hope you are as excited as I am about everything that is getting ready to harvest and all the tomatoes that are about to change colors. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.